was a king, and his name was Donald. And there was a poor man, and a son was born to him, and he gave him school and learning. And the boy said to his father, "Father, it is time for me to be doing for myself to be a champion." So he took 16 apples from the garden, and threw an apple out into the sea, and he gave a step on it. He threw the next one, and he gave a step on it. He threw one after the other, until he came to the last, and the last apple brought him back on land again. When he was on land again, he shook his ears, and he thought that it was in no sorry place he would stay. So he moved as a wave from a wave, and marbles from marbles, as a wild winter wind, sightly and swiftly singing right proudly, through glens and high tops, and made no stops till he came to the city and court of Donald, and gave 3 hops over turrets and tops of court and of city of Donald. And Donald took much anger and rage that such an unseemly, ill stripling should come into the town, with 2 shoulders through his coat, 2 ears through his hat, his 2 squat, kickering, tattery shoes full of cold, roadwayish water, 3 feet of his sword sideways on the side of his haunch, after the scabbard had ended. "I will not believe," said the champion, "but that you were taking anger and rage, King Donald." "Well then, I am," said Donald, "if I did but know at what I should be angry." "Good king," said the champion, "coming in was no harder than going out would be." "You are not going out," said Donald, "till you tell me where you came from, with 2 shoulders through your coat, 2 ears through your hat, 2 squat, kickery, tattery shoes full of cold, roadwayish water, 3 feet of sword sideways on the side of your haunch after the scabbard has ended." And the champion said, "I come from hurry and scurry, from the end of endless spring, from the loved Swanee Glen, a night in Chester and a night in Man, a night on cold watching cairns. On the face of mountains in the English land was I born. A slim, swarthy champion am I, though I happened upon this town." "What," said Donald, "can you do, O champion? Surely with all the distance you have travelled you can do something." "I was once," said he, "that I could play a harp." "Well then," said Donald, "it is I myself that have got the best harpers in the 5/5 of the world." "Let's hear them playing," said the champion. The harpers played. They played tunes with wings, trampling things, tightened strings, warriors, heroes, and ghosts on their feet, goblins and spectres, sickness and fever. They set in sound, lasting sleep, the whole great world, with the sweetness of the calming tunes that those harpers could play. The music did not please the champion. He caught the harps and he crushed them under his feet, and he set them on the fire and made himself a warming and a sound warming at them. Donald took such a lofty rage that a man had come into his court who should do the like of this to the harps. "My good man, Donald," said the slim, swarthy champion, "I will not believe but that you are taking anger." "Well then, I am," said Donald, "if I did but know at what I should be angry." "It was no harder for me to break your harps than to make them again," said the champion. And he seized the fill of his 2 palms of the ashes and squeezed them and made all the harpers their harps, and a great harp for himself. "Let us hear your music," said Donald. The champion began to play. He could play tunes with wings, trampling things, tightened strings, warriors, heroes, and ghosts on their feet, goblins and spectres, sickness and fever, that set in sound lasting sleep the whole great world, with the sweetness of the calming tunes that champion could play. "You are melodious, O champion," said the king. And he and his harpers took anger and rage that such an unseemly stripling, with 2 shoulders through his coat, 2 ears through his hat, 2 squat, kickering, tattery shoes full of cold, roadwayish water, 3 feet of his sword sideways on the side of his haunch after the scabbard was ended, should come to the town and play music as well as they. "I'm going," said the champion. "If you should stir," said the king, "I should make a sharp, sour shrinking for you with this plough in my hand." The champion leapt on the point of his pins, and he went over the top and turret of court and city of Donald. And Donald threw the plough that was in his hand, and he slew 4 and then 20 of his own people. Well, what should the champion meet but the tracking lad of Donald? And he said to him, "Here's a little grey weed for you. Go in and rub it on the mouths of the 4 and then the 20 that were killed by the plough, and bring them back alive again, and earn for yourself from King Donald 20 calving cows, and look behind you when you part from me." And when the tracking lad did this and looked, he saw the slim, swarthy champion, 13 miles off on a hillside already. He moved as a wave from a wave, and marbles from marbles, as a wild winter wind, sightly and swiftly singing, right proudly, through glens and high tops, and made no stops, until he reached the town of John, the South Earl. He struck the latch. Said John the South Earl, "Who's that in the door?" "I am Dust, son of Dust," said the champion. "Let in, dusts of dust," said John the South Earl. "No one must be in my door without entering." They let him in. "What can you do, dust of dust?" said the South Earl. "I was on a time, and I could play a juggle," said the champion. "What is the trick you can do, dust of dust?" said the South Earl. "Well," said the champion, "I was on a time when I could put 3 straws on the back of my fist and blow them off." And he put 3 straws on the back of his fist and blew them off. "Well," said one of the Earl's sons, "if that is a juggle, then I can do no worse than you." "Do so," said the champion. And the son of the South Earl put 3 straws on his fist, and the champion blew them off, and the fist with them. "You are sore, and you will be sore," said the South Earl. "My blessing on the hand that gave it to you. And what is the next trick you can do, dust of dust?" said the Earl. "I will do other juggles for you," said the champion. And he took hold of his ear, and lifted it from his cheek, bobbed it on the ground, and back again. "I could do that," said the second son of John the South Earl. "I shall do it for you," said the champion. And he gave a pull at the ear, and the head came away with it. "I see that the juggling of this night is with you," said the Earl. Then the champion went and set a great ladder against the moon. And in one part of it he put a hound and a hare, and in another part of it he put a man and a woman. And they are alive there till now. "That is a great trick," said the Earl. "And I cannot do that," said the Earl's third son. "It is a great trick and a juggle," said the champion, "and it is not you that can do it." "Then what will you do now?" said the Earl. But the champion leapt on the point of his pins, and he went over top and turrets of court and town, till he met a man threshing in a barn. "I will make you a free man for your life," said the champion. "There are 2 of your master's lads, one with his fist off, one with his head off. Go there and put them on again." "With what shall I bring them?" said the man. "Take a tuft of grass, hold it in water, shake it on them, and you will heal them," said the champion. And he heard a loud voice in a bush. "What is that?" said the man. "I must go," said the champion, "to the King of the Stars, whose foot no doctor or leech has healed in 7 years." And he moved as a wave from a wave, and marbles from marbles, as a wild winter wind, sightly and swiftly singing, right proudly, through glens and high tops, and made no stops until he reached the castle of the King of the Stars. He struck palm on door. "Who's that?" said the porter. "I am a doctor and a leech," said the champion. "Many a doctor and leech has come," said the porter. "There's not a spike on the town without a doctor's head, but one. Perhaps it's for your head it shall be." The champion went in. "Rise up, King of the Stars," he said. "You are free from your wound." The King of the Stars rose up, and there was not a man swifter or stronger than he. "Lie down, King of the Stars," said the slim, swarthy champion. "You are full of wounds." The King of the Stars lay down, and he was worse than he ever was. "You did wrong," he said, "to heal me, then spoil me again." "I was showing that I could heal you," said the champion. "Now, fetch all the doctors of the earth." And word was sent by running lads to all the doctors and leeches of the earth. And they came riding that they would get pay. And when they came riding, the slim, swarthy champion went out, and he said to them, "What made you spoil the leg of the King of the Stars?" "Well, then," they said, "if we were to earn the worth of our ointment and the worth of our trouble, we could not leave him with the worth of the leg in this world." "I'll lay you a wager," said the champion, "the full of my cap in gold to be set at the end of the dale, and there is none here that will be sooner at it than the King of the Stars." He set the cap full of gold at the end of the dale, and the doctors laid the wager that it could never be, and put their lives on it. The champion went in where the King of the Stars was, and said to him, "Arise whole, King of the Stars. I have laid a wager on you." The King of the Stars got up, whole and healthy, and he went out, and in 3 springs he was at the cap of gold, leaving the doctors behind him. Then the doctors and leeches asked that they might get their lives, and promise of that they did not get. The champion put his hat on his head, his holly in his fist, and he seized the grey axe that hung from his haunch, and he took under them, over them, through and amongst them, and left no man to tell a tale or earn bad tidings. When the king was healed, he sent word for the nobles and for the great gentles to the wedding of his daughter and the slim, swarthy champion. "What company is here?" said the champion. "The company of your own wedding, and they are gathering from each half and from each side of the golden, great, white, speckled universe," said the king to him. "Be this from me," said the champion, and he went, swifter out of the town than a year-old hare. He leapt on the point of his pins, and moved as a wave from a wave, and marbles from marbles, as a wild winter wind, sightly and swiftly singing right proudly, through glens and high tops, and made no stops until he reached the shack of Rascally Tag. "What young lad is this?" said Rascally Tag. "His 2 shoulders through his coat, his 2 ears through his hat, his 2 squat, kickering, tattery shoes full of cold roadwayish water, 3 feet of his sword sideways on the side of his haunch, after the scabbard has ended. Have you need of a man?" said the champion. "And where are you from?" said Rascally Tag. "From many a place," said the champion. "What wages will you take?" said Rascally Tag. "The wages I will take is that you shall not drink first before me until the end of a day and a year," said the champion. "That is your wages," said Rascally Tag. And he took the slim, swarthy champion raiding. The raiding was upon John, the South Earl, in the court and the city of Donald. And though the champion had spared them before, he did not spare them twice. He broke in the house wall, his holly in his fist, and he seized the grey axe that hung from his haunch. And he took under them, over them, through and amongst them, and left no man to tell a tale or earn bad tidings. The champion was hot, and went into the dairy, and saw Rascally Tag drinking a bucket of milk and water. "You've broken your promise," said the champion. "That bucket is no better than another bucket," said Rascally Tag. "That self-same bucket did you promise to me," said the champion. And he took anger and wrath at Rascally Tag, and went away thirsty back to the King of the Stars. And the daughter of the King of the Stars picked the 16 green apples from the sea, and made the slim, swarthy champion a drink from the juice of them. And the drink from that juice choked him. So the daughter of the King of the Stars married Rascally Tag, and their wedding feast lasted a day and a year, and the last day was as good as the first. Goodbye.